Hello, I'm Manasi and I'm co-director at Bread and Roses. In this video, I'll walk you through how Bread and Roses uses intersectional approach to select a population group to work with. First and foremost is cultural backgrounds or cultural identity and languages spoken. Oftentimes, these terms get used interchangeably, but there is much difference. For example, Hindi and Arabic is spoken in more than 20 countries, but people speaking Hindi might identify themselves from different cultural backgrounds. Similarly, Arabic-speaking people might identify themselves from Arabic background, but might have different faith and religious following. The second important thing, or second and third I must say, migration history and visa status. Now, predominantly, Australia is made up of migrant people. So, of course, everyone is coming from some or the other country. But how people come to this country, and I'm not talking about the mode of transportation, people have different migration experience. For example, someone fleeing their own country because of war might have dramatically different migration experience as compared to someone visiting Australia on a tourist visa. So understanding these differences is important to understand where people are coming from and what they are carrying with them. Now, to enter Australia, we all need visas, and there are varieties of visas with which you can come to Australia. Humanitarian visa is something that is given to people or countries where there is war or geopolitical turmoil. So visas such as refugee visas or asylum seeker visas, people coming on these visas do go through resettlement services and get resettled in Australia, which means that if at all people on these visas face any financial hardship or financial crisis, they would have a touch point or a referral service whom they might be able to call sooner rather than later to access the support service that they might need. This as compared to other type of visas such as working visa or business visa or spousal visa. People coming on these type of visas do not automatically get linked to any resettlement service or any support service as such. Which means that if people on these type of spousal visa or working visa, if they get into any financial hardship, they can reach the support service after when the hardship has already occurred. In 2020, when pandemic started, we saw a classic example of this. Especially people on tourist visa or student visa got locked into the country because of the border closures. They couldn't work because of the lockdowns, which meant they were the hardest hit because of the financial crisis they were facing. People were homeless or were not having access to even food because they couldn't buy it. So different kind of visas give different kinds of accesses to people and support services. So in the previous example, the tourist visa and student visa holders were not eligible for the government's coronavirus support packages, but some others were. So what this really means is that understanding the migration history, the visa status of people, it will give your program or service really the base to work with these people effectively, so that the program can address what the needs are, and if anyone is facing any financial hardship, your program or service can really address it at the beginning and address it preventatively as well. By now, you must be wondering how this process helps you to select your audience. Well, gaining insights about the cultural backgrounds, the cultural identity, languages spoken, migration history, and visa statuses is going to give you an intersectionally good foundation to select your audience, but also to help understand your capability as a program or a service to know if you can really cater for this population group. So if you do not have particular resources, you can think of adding those resources into you, or you could think of working with another population group so that your organization as is can work more effectively with them.